say we make half of those, like that's 14 points right there. So yeah, you're definitely happy with some of the shots you get, but at the same time, we weren't happy with some other shots that we did get. So I think we got to work the offense a little bit more. Got to play with more pace. I thought it was a lot of standing in our half-court offense.
Imagine being so good. The only way to stop you is to literally hit you in the head. That's what happened to Caitlyn Clark last night, but here's the real shocker. Nothing was called, no foul, no flagrant, nothing. Think that's fair? Let's dive into the game that's got everyone questioning WNBA officiating. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. Caitlyn Clark's rookie season, off the charts. She's been lighting up the court for the Indiana Fever like it's nobody's business. And last night, she was on fire again. 25 points, 6 rebounds, 9 assists. That's crazy good, right?
Being here, we have to win to extend our season and to get it back home, and I think it's a great opportunity for us. You go back and watch the film, and I think that as a competitor, you hate sitting around a couple days. You want to get to this game, and you're really fired up for it. So I think that's the way our team's approaching it. And we know it's a great opportunity, but we also know it's a great challenge for us, but not anything you shy away from.
But here's the thing, it wasn't enough to stop the Connecticut Sun. You know what's even crazier? Just when Caitlyn thought she'd seen it all, something happened that left everyone speechless. It was like the whole arena froze. What could make a superstar like Clark stop in her tracks? Get ready, because what I'm about to tell you might change how you see the WNBA forever. Remember when basketball was about skill, not survival? Well, Caitlyn Clark might be wondering the same thing after last night's game. One brutal play has everyone asking, is this really how we treat our star players? The answer might shock you. It all went down during a crucial moment in the playoff game against the Connecticut Sun. Clark, showing off her rookie brilliance, went for a layup. But what happened next? Let's just say it wasn't pretty. Marina Mabrey came in hot. We're talking full-on collision course. She went for the block, but instead of getting the ball, she got Clark right in the face. It was like watching a car crash in slow motion. Everyone in the arena held their breath, waiting for the whistle. But guess what? Nothing, nada, zips. The refs. They might as well have been admiring the stadium lights. No foul called. Can you believe it? The commentators sure couldn't. One of them straight up said, that's a foul.
We find so many ways where we can improve and have been a lot better offensively and defensively, and we know we could have been right there in that game. And hopefully we shoot the ball a little bit better tonight. You would like to think a lot of averages would play out for you. Yeah, I felt like there was definitely some, and we went back and we watched, and we had, I think we calculated 28 points where it was kind of a wide open look for us where we didn't execute.
Talk about stating the obvious. But here's where it gets wild. The fans. They went ballistic. Social media exploded faster than a popcorn kernel in the microwave. People were comparing it to the NBA, saying if this happened there, it'd be a flagrant foul for sure. It's like the WNBA is playing by a whole different rule book. And it's not just the fans who are furious. Coach Christy Sides wasn't having any of it either. After the game, she laid it out straight. That was a non-basketball play that needed to be called in that moment. Preach, coach! Basically saying, hey, let's protect our players, yeah? But here's the kicker. This isn't a one-time thing for Clark. She's been taking hits all season long. It's like there's a target on her back, and the refs are turning a blind eye. Is this really what we want for our rising stars? A game of dodge the elbow instead of shoot the hoop. The whole incident has opened up a can of worms about WNBA officiating.
It didn't feel good. I think for me especially is just try to move, play a little faster, play with some more pace, make them have to guard us from side to side. I think it's going to be really important.
Are the refs too lenient? Is the league too physical? Should we be doing more to protect players like Clark? These are the questions everyone's asking now. You might be wondering why this particular foul is causing such an uproar. Well, it's because it's exposing a much bigger problem in the WNBA. Are we watching basketball or something closer to a contact sport? The answer might surprise you. Let's talk about the WNBA's dirty little secret. Flagrant fouls are about as rare as a unicorn sighting. Seriously, the refs seem to have a no blood, no foul policy. It's like they're watching a different game sometimes. And it's not just fans noticing this. Players, coaches, and even some officials are starting to raise eyebrows. Now, you'd think with all these amazing athletes on the court, the league would be all about protecting them, right? Wrong. There's this ongoing debate about how physical the WNBA should be. Some folks are like, bring on the the body checks, while others are screaming for stricter rules. It's a real head scratcher. Here's where it gets wild. Compare this to the NBA, and it's like night and day. In the men's league, you so much as breathe on a star player, and the whistle's blowing. But in the WNBA, players are out there taking hits like they're in the NFL, and the refs are just shrugging it off. But here's the thing, it's not just about one bad call or one rough night. This Clark incident, it's pulling back the curtain on a much bigger issue. The WNBA's got a real problem on its hands when it comes to keeping players safe. Think about it. These women are out there giving it their all night after night. They're the best of the best, but instead of celebrating their skills, we're watching them dodge elbows and fight through screens that look more like tackles. Is this really what we want for our league? Some people argue that the physical play makes the game more exciting. They say it separates the tough players from the rest. But at what cost? Are we really okay with risking our star players' careers just for a little extra drama? On the flip side, you've got folks pushing for stricter officiating. They're saying, hey, let's protect our players. Let's make this about skill, not who can take the hardest hit. And you know what? They might have a point. This whole situation with Clark could be a turning point. It's like a wake-up call for the league. Maybe, just maybe, this is the moment when the WNBA takes a hard look at its officiating and says, we need to do better. Imagine a WNBA where players can focus on their game without worrying about getting clotheslined every time they drive to the basket. A league where skill and strategy trump brute force. That's the kind of basketball that could really take the women's game to the next level. Speaking of taking the game to the next level, Caitlyn Clark's rookie stats are off the charts. But here's the kicker. What she's doing off the court might be even more game-changing. And it's got everyone wondering, is this the birth of a new era in women's basketball? Let's talk about Clark's first season. This girl's not just playing the game, she's rewriting the rule book. 17 points, 6.5 assists, and 5.4 rebounds per game. That's not rookie numbers, that's all-star material right there. And remember, she's doing this while getting knocked around like a pinball. But here's where it gets wild. Clark's not just taking the hits, she's learning from them. Coach Christy Sides couldn't stop praising her composure. She said, I applaud her for how she handled it. It's tough to keep getting hammered, and to not get rewarded with free throws or foul calls. That's some serious mental toughness right there. Now, you'd think after a season like that, Clark would be itching to hit the court again, right? Wrong. She's sitting out the offseason. At first, you might be thinking, what? Is she crazy? But hold up, this might be the smartest move she's made yet. Think about it. Clark's not just resting, she's preparing. She's taking time to recover, to build strength, to study the game. It's like she's treating her career like a chess match, always thinking 5 moves ahead. This girl's not just playing for next season, she's playing for a legacy. But let's get real for a second. The WNBA is not for the faint of heart. It's a physical game, and Clark's been getting the brunt of it. But instead of complaining, she's adapting. She's hitting the gym, adding muscle, getting ready to dish out as good as she gets. And here's the thing, all this physicality, it's not slowing her down. If anything, it's lighting a fire under her. Every hit, every non-call, it's just fuel for her competitive spirit. Clark's not just surviving in the WNBA, she's thriving. So what does this mean for the future of women's basketball? Well, if Clark's any indication, we're in for one hell of a ride. We're talking about a player who's not just talented, but smart, tough, and always evolving. She's setting a new standard for what it means to be a pro. So what's next for women's basketball after all this drama? Let's recap. Caitlyn Clark's rookie season was insane, but that brutal foul, it's got everyone talking about how the WNBA handles player safety. Here's the thing, this could be a game changer. The league might finally step up and fix its officiating problems. Imagine a WNBA where players can show off their skills without worrying about getting knocked around. That's the kind of basketball we all want to see, right? And Caitlyn Clark, she's not just changing the game on the court, her whole rookie experience might be the push the WNBA needs to level up. We're talking better rules, safer play, and more focus on pure talent. So, what do you think? How can the WNBA protect its stars without losing that edge we all love? The future of women's basketball is in our hands. Let's make it count.